How cool is it? How well does it ride? The KTM 125 SMC-R? The answer is in this video. Right, folks, I have to rewind a few years, no idea, 30 years. I was never good at maths when I was young back then. And if something like this had existed, I reckon my childhood and my teens would have looked different. I've got to tell you something, folks. I've got to tell you something. At the tender age of 12, I worked at my granddad's construction company. He's passed away, so I can't really talk about the cash in hand work now. At granddad's firm, I cleaned the crew transporters. I got 100 shillings per crew van. I started that at 12 so that by 16 I could afford my moped. If I'd had something like the SMC-R back then, I'd have had to clean a lot more flatbeds because I'd have done nothing but ride motorbikes. I'd have needed endless petrol money. How cool is that? It's unreal. A properly brilliant motorbike. When I'm sat up there, life just surges through me. I can't even tell you. I need a time machine right now and I've got to go back. When I think about the terrible bikes we had to ride back then, I mean, they were all right, but nowhere near as grown up as this. You sit up there and it feels like you've got a real motorbike underneath you. A chunky handlebar, mate. How beefy is that? Like on an Enduro. Down there, that steel trellis frame just inspires confidence. You look at it and it feels like a proper product. You've got adjustable WP suspension. When it lights up, have a look at a cracking display. You can switch on Supermoto mode for the ABS. A full fat package you can ride as a young rider. And then in this heartwarming, gloriously cheeky Supermoto configuration. Properly brilliant, mate. I felt young in the saddle again. I gave it my best. Thing is, I can't actually ride Supermoto. It's been ages since I raced Supermoto, and I never really learned the drifting anyway. And then there are tires on it that I don't know, but I didn't let that get into my head. I leaned it over, but there's more to come, so you'll probably see it in the footage now. With a bit more practice, you can lean it a bit further. How was it out there then, that I immediately had that Supermoto feeling on the bike? Some say you can't get a Supermoto seating position because of this tank. Well, I didn't have to overthink it. Pretty quickly, I started sticking the little leg out, pushing the bike down, and I rode it exactly how I want a Supermoto to be. Pressed it hard into the bends, chucked the machine from side to side. To me, it felt like a bona fide Supermoto. And I have to say, I probably wouldn't have slid much further forward anyway. I'm always a bit sloppy. I don't sit as far forward as you're supposed to. So for me, it worked. That feeling, that Supermoto vibe really came through for me. And on corner entry through the direction changes, I absolutely enjoyed that playful, lively character. I whipped through the arcs. And then comes the good bit. On the faster sections and under braking, it still felt grown up and stable. And I find that reassuring. So if there are mums and dads out there watching this bike isn't just a playful wheelie bike you can rag about on. It's also a day-to-day machine you can take on the motorway at high speeds in a stable way. It gives you a pleasant stability. And the seat comfort isn't racer style either. You sit up there like on a normal motorbike, and I dare say it's a really good everyday machine as well. Then the brakes slowed you down properly. A perfectly decent bite point. This Supermoto ABS also let you get away with quite a bit. I won't try to judge the engine output now. I'd need a direct comparison, but usually with these 125s, the engines are very, very similar in terms of power, and they mostly differ in how keen they are to rev and in throttle response. What happens is when the engine starts to sound like it's saying, right, here we go, now I can really go on my own, then that's it, you hit the limiter. It's also easy to find the shift point when you think, now I want to get going. That's actually when you should stop and shift. It's a bit sad, but folks, your time will come. The engine sits in the A1 license class with a maximum of 15 horsepower allowed, and that's what you get here. So you can have a wonderful time until you're 18, and then you can step up to the 390, and there, with the engine at the top end, you can squeeze out a lot more. But let's get back to the bike. A bike where I'm thinking brilliant everyday motorbike. A brilliant bike for getting through loads and loads of situations in life, where you also have a proper laugh in the saddle. And I'm very reassured because I was worried it would be a watered down concept, but it's not like that at all. I had adrenaline for days. You probably noticed how buzzing I was. I'm only just calming down now. I felt like a little kid in a toy shop. So, have loads of fun with your SMCs. I'm curious how many of you already have one. It arrived fairly late, so if you bought one, lads and lasses, post below how you're getting on. How are your wheelies going? I can't do them. Have you already scraped a few number plates? Post below how you're getting on with it. Your comments underneath really enrich our videos. Cheers, and see you soon on 1000 PSTV.